It was a normal Saturday afternoon out for one Newcastle mum and her kids, but what was meant to be a relaxing afternoon shopping soon turned into terror at the tills. When the mum, who's asked not to be named, turned round, she realised that her 2-year-old had disappeared. To the mum's relief, her daughter was found an hour and 45 minutes later in a park 3 miles away. The 2-year-old had been kidnapped by 2 girls, aged 13 and 14. They had changed the little girl's hairstyle and she was sucking on a baby bottle that the girls had bought. Now, the girls have been sentenced to be detained for 3 years, but the mother of the toddler said she hoped they'd get help and lead worthwhile lives when they're released. Do you think you could ever forgive such a thing?
No, never, ever, ever. Just makes me feel sick sitting here thinking of that. Oh, can you imagine? I'm sure we've all had that moment when your child, you look round and they've gone. And they're fortunately probably only over there. I had one where Keely had been missing and she'd gone, we were in a shop and she'd gone and sat on a stool and was pretending to come out. I was going to have a heart attack, and the pain in my body, I could never forgive it. Those girls, it must have been premeditated. They must have known. They must have gone and taken that little girl's hand and taken her out and changed her hair. And what on earth? How could you ever? All right, you could say maybe now they'll get help. There is something wrong. You know, you just don't do that. But I have no forgiveness in there at all.
Well, I mean, it's quite obvious there's something wrong, and it's quite obvious, you know, whatever they've been doing, no one's been monitoring what they've been looking at.
And they knew what they were doing.
Really, you know, they're 13 and 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, at that age, and especially in today's society, they very much know what they're doing.
Well, I think, as well, obviously, they've been detained and, you know, the judge has passed sentence on them. What's interesting is the girl's mother has said that what they did was an evil act, but would I call them evil? She said no. One of the facts of this case that, to me, I don't think I could forgive is because during sentences, the court heard that the girls had actually carried out online searching on topics such as rape and children having sex. So they weren't taking a little child wanting a baby sister or, you know, a walking, living doll to play with. They were intending to do terrible, terrible things to that child.
I see where the mother... I reported on the Jamie Bolger case, and that was horrendous, and I would never forgive that if I was Denise Bolger, because you know, she lost her son in terrible, terrible circumstances. I think this woman is obviously flooded with relief that she's got her child back safe and unharmed. And now what she's doing is she's taken a step back. She's looking at the age of... These are children themselves. We don't know anything about them. They may have come from terrible backgrounds where the only contact or emotion that they've ever seen or whatever is sexual contact. Yeah. You know, it's not unheard of. It's the only way that they know to relate. And I just, you know, I just think for the mother to hold that, now that she's got her child back... Unharmed, it's almost like self-preservation. I think if you go through life permanently with wing mirrors on, and I'm not talking about if your child's harmed, that's different. You go with wing mirrors on, harbouring feelings like that, it affects your life as well. And what you have to do is go, I forgive them for they know not what they do or whatever.
But could you do that?
In these circumstances, I hope that I could. I don't know, but I hope that I could, because I would have got my child back unharmed. In the Jamie Bolger case... Definitely not. Absolutely not. It would eat me up for the rest of my life. But, yeah, I just think, you know, as I say, they are children themselves. I know they're 13 and 14, and we all think that those are adults now, but they're not.
But the raw emotion that you would go through.
Oh, terrible.
How do you forgive that? How do you get it out of here? The fear that your child has gone. And you might never see that child
at the time
again.
You don't. What she's doing now is reflecting back.
But how do you do that? You must be a very strong person to be able to reflect back and say, I
think you're right, though. I think what it is it's just the relief that her daughter is back, her daughter's not harmed, and her daughter actually doesn't remember.
And what does it do, you know, in this circumstance now?
To hold on to it.
If she holds on to it, what will it do to her daughter? Because she's going to make her very nervous about her daughter. It's going to make her... she's obviously working very hard to just try and get
And I
back
think,
to normality.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think holding on to that anger and that, you know, wanting revenge almost and that grudge is more damaging, probably for a daughter as well.
But in life as well.